Okay, guys, this is my second video in my division series, and I would label this, I think I'm going to label on the video itself intermediate division, but on the topic label up here, I only wrote division because I'm using a really cheap stylus and a Apple trackpad to write on this whiteboard program and screen record it, and it's really difficult to write nicely. It just takes too long, so I'm just too lazy to write intermediate. Anyways, I'm also going to leave the work up here because I feel like it saves time if I just write all the steps out and kind of explain them. So what I did here is a couple different things. Let's look at this problem only right here, 23 divided by 6. As you can see, what I've done is I separated the dividend into zones. And the zones that I separate them into are just the digits that comprise the dividend. So I don't really care what's to the left or the right of it. It's a double digit number. I just need one dotted line to separate the 2 and the 3. So from there, I do my division steps, which I've kind of cataloged and written over here. I just use the symbols. I'll explain what these two mean later, but I think it's great just to know the order and have steps to go to. Of course, you're going to need to memorize them, but with enough practice, memorization is kind of built into a process like this. So the first thing we're going to do in division is always know that we start with the number to the left. Every other operation we do, addition, subtraction, and multiplication, starts with the number on the right. So just remember that division starts with the leftmost number or the highest place value number. So what we're going to do is see, just like we did before, if we can divide 2 by 6. Another way to phrase it is, can 6 go into 2? And since 6 is bigger than 2, the answer is 0, or it cannot. So you can write a 0 here if you want. You don't have to. And then what we do is we move on to the next number. So we go to the 3, but we can't forget that we didn't really use the 2 yet. So instead of 6 into 3, we're actually thinking 6 into 23, or 23 divided by 6. And hopefully you can use the same idea that we used in our simple division video, where you just think of the multiples of the divisor and see how close you can get to 23 with those multiplication facts without going over it. So the answer in this case is 3. 6 times 3 is 18, and then we subtract to get our remainder. The remainder is 5. 5 is less than 6, so we're good. We can write the answer 3 remainder 5. So if you can see over here on this chart, we started with division, 2 divided by 6, or let's do 23 divided by 6, and then we multiplied by the answer or the guess that we got. 6 times 3 is 18, and then we subtract here to get our remainder. Now, if there's another number here, we would bring it down. That's what the arrow means. And then the R here means repeat. Anytime we bring a number down, we repeat the whole process over again. So what happens if we've got a little bit of a bigger number? Now we've got a triple digit number or a number in the hundreds. We're going to do the exact same thing. As you can see in the purple ink, I've written my dashed lines to split 157 up into 3 zones by digit. We follow the same process, start on the left. 1 divided by 4, we can't do it, it's 0. So then we go and we include that 1 with the 5, and now we're dividing 15 by 4, which is 3. We multiply by 4 by 3 to get 12. We subtract to get the remainder of 3. We do our check. 3 is smaller than 4, so we're good. Then we bring down the next number of 7, and then we're going to start the whole process over again using 37 now. So we're thinking 37 divided by 4. The answer to that is 9, because 4 times 9 is 36. That's very close to 37 without being bigger. Then we subtract 37 by 36 to get a remainder of 1. Check that 1 is smaller than 4. Great. So our remainder is 1, and our answer here is 39 remainder 1. And that's all there is to it. If there are more numbers, you just keep bringing them down and repeating the process over and over again. Now, with single digit numbers, because most students already have these times tables memorized, I highly encourage implementing shortcuts using mental math. So this problem that I wrote down here in the bottom left is an example of that, where we're going to divide 299 by 3. So what we're going to do is, we don't have to write the zones in. If we can just visualize them ourselves, we can say, okay, 2 divided by 3, that's a 0. Don't need to write anything. So now we're going over into 29. 3 goes into 29 9 times, and I know that's 27. So 29 minus 27, if I can do it mentally, is 2. And do you see how I write that right next to the new number that we're going to have to drop down later? It's because instead of writing the arrow, then writing the number and subtracting, if I just put the remainder here and know that I'm not using this anymore and I'm doing 29 divided by 3, I can get the answer. 9 times 3 is 27, remainder of 2, and that's it. It's the exact same thing that we're doing here. It's just we're not writing down the steps because there are things that we found out we can do mentally. And what I would encourage you to do is if you try this step, but you find that you're making mistakes and getting more wrong, just go back to writing all of the steps. There's no harm in trying when you're practicing to implement some shortcuts that can be beneficial to you. But if you find they're actually more detrimental to you and you're getting more wrong, it's probably not a smart idea to keep using it. Of course, you want to use the method that gets you the answers right first, and then learn how to streamline that process and get faster. So the next video I'm going to post is going to be on long division, but remember, we're going to use these ideas that I've shared with you in intermediate division and also simple division. So hopefully you can take these ideas, put them into practice. I wish you the best of luck, and I will talk to you soon.